Hello there. Welcome back to the TerrorVision Home Video Podcast. That's a nice mug. What's on that?
I don't know. I just found it. It's pretty dirty.
It's death is what it says literally. It's been a while. We've had a few weeks of busyness that we couldn't get this done, and people in the verge of being very very sick. And now it is officially week 10 of the 13 weeks of Halloween. Mr. Bradley will be joining us in just a couple minutes. He was taking care of his dogs, but Ryan, how's everything been? You've been to some conventions lately. You've been busy.
Yeah, dude. Been My car broke down in West Virginia. If anyone's in the where was that? Princeton, West Virginia. If anyone watching wants to check on my car, let me know. Um, Leaving what convention was that? Cinema Wasteland a couple days ago. Going through the mountains at like midnight. Transmission fell out. That was cool.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's been that sort of year
Yeah.
for me. The conventions themselves were great. Um, Cinema Wasteland's a blast because I would guess that they sell maybe 500 tickets or something, and it's amazing. The 500 people that come are incredible people and super supportive, and most of those 500 people buy something, and it's the sort of crowd that wants to discover new to them movies. So
Yeah.
it's really it's very rewarding as opposed to the bigger cons, which are problematic because it's all Terrifier people, and they simply don't want to listen to anything. So
Yeah.
it yeah. Anyways, it's been good, or not. It's not. It hasn't been good. It's been fine.
The last handful of conventions, I'm kind of curious what would have been the more popular titles at the table.
Well, that's the thing. Like at something like Cinema Wasteland, you're able to speak about the films that you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm obsessed with Door, and I've got like a list of. I'm obsessed with all the Maurice Devereaux stuff. I've got like 5 things that I consistently, just because I'm so into them, and WNUF and blah blah blah. So I talk about kind of the same things, and then they actually listen. 9 out of 10 times, because I've done so many of these things now, they have those. So then we can get into sort of like the second tier for me. But it's just nice. I don't know, being able to discuss the things you're passionate about instead of being dismissed within seconds, which is what like Horror Hound to a degree is like that, and certainly all those Days of the Dead, and that one that booked that rapist, Kevin Spacey.
The Jersey one or whatever it was, I think, or North
I can't
Carolina.
think of the name of that one.
Yeah,
North Carolina. That one, Mad Monster Party. That's what it's called.
that's the one.
Like that is the worst. I'm not saying there aren't great people there. I'm saying that when you have like 20,000 people coming to a convention, you're going to get at least 18,000 shitheads. Like that's just life. It's like going to a concert or something.
It's true.
But yeah, so I really like weirdly, I think Cinema Wasteland is probably the best in the country for just how micro it is and how old school it is. It feels like when I started going to these things in the 90s, like in Pittsburgh, autographs are like $20 to $40. It's fucking awesome. It's how it should be. Instead of you like waiting in line all day for one person's autograph that costs you like $240.
That you can not even talk to him. Literally sign this. Have a good day. Bye.
Exactly.
So, you brought up WNUF. Anyways. It's probably a good time to talk about Walmart, because it has been lighting the internet on fire. People excited to get a double feature with these discs that are identical to the limited editions, showing a whole new world your titles. That's been pretty cool.
I mean, it's really cool. It's weird because it feels not like a diss, but I love Diabolic and Orbit and all
Yeah.
brothers in retail so much that it feels weird to like ecstatically promote corporate shithole such as Walmart. But I'm sure the majority of people understand the fact that a label of our size, which has like 3 employees, which is easily by far the smallest boutique label in existence, can get into Walmart is just significant. Simply, it's significant. So they had rejected WNUF, the double pack, I want to say 2 times, and then the third time we pitched it, they accepted. I guess we just beat them down, or they did their research, or I can't remember how we crowbarred our way in, but no, it's been great. The frustrating part is like there's actual hype for it, and Walmart is very slow to get the product out. I can see it's in their warehouse, and I can see that it's not in a ton of stores, even though it's supposed to be a wide release. So it's, frankly, there's thousands of copies just sitting at the Walmart distribution facility. And I don't understand the disconnect. I don't know how they function. That part has been stressful because after a certain point, it's going to be too late. And then if they decide to put them out randomly in, I don't know, middle of January, it's like, you probably missed that window, you fucking idiots. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this month they get them all out. That's all I ask for. So we shall see.
I've been laughing because there's some people that are like dying to see it. They can't get it at their stores. It's not available to shipping in certain parts of the country. And then other stores, you're seeing pictures online, people going in and there's like 9 copies in one location.
I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't have any idea how they function. I did get, we had Malum, Frogman, Rumple, and WNUF double pack. So we've had 4 Walmart titles. We did get a note, and this isn't that big of a deal because we're talking very small quantities here, but I did get an email this week saying it's their. Hello, Brad.
What's up, man? Sorry, having issues like usual.
Yeah, that's your thing. I have an emotional breakdown every time we're on, and you have equipment malfunctions and hurricanes.
Yeah, I was about to say, what time is the hurricane scheduled for?
It's dark out. Something's coming. I don't know. It's supposed to be a cold front tonight. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, so we just got word that this had been doing better than those. So that's all I was getting at.
And so far, like they've all kind of done better than the one before it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking WNF. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that is not only kind of unprecedented in this modern era of home video, but for a boutique like this, that is incredibly encouraging. Is it opening them up to discussion on more titles now that they're doing even better every time?
We'll see.
I don't know. Yeah,
it just depends. We kind of strong armed them into WNUF because we wouldn't let it go because we knew, like Ryan and myself, we knew that it would do well. We would hope that it would do well, but WNUF is a very unique situation because it's an independent movie that has crossed over to the mainstream. And I don't think people understand the significance sometimes with that sort of thing is that, your film is talked about with normal crowds, not just, your horror crowd or a very niche thing. WNUF has crossed over to mainstream. Like you could set up at the TerrorVision table at any convention, and I would say 99% of the people are going to know one title on that table, and it's going to be WNUF. And that crosses over to your mainstream audiences going into Walmart. Now, the discussion that we had internally was that we've exhausted so many copies of this already. Is it not going to move because everybody that wants a copy has a copy? And that wasn't the case at all, which shows kind of like how big this movie really is. You know, you do have the people that support it. That
it also shows how big Walmart is and why that's actually so important for our potential growth, because we're speaking to people that don't know who we are, which is really exciting, weirdly, you know. So
yeah, there's so many people that are going into Walmart that have no idea what a boutique Blu-ray is, or our company, or any other company. They're just there to see what is put in front of them. And this is how we operated as moviegoers for a long time, going to the rental store, even going into the early days of Best Buy. You would go to see what was there because, you know, some of these movies were limited. They were harder to find. They were harder to see. So you waited for things to come out, or waited for something new to appear on the shelf, look at it, see if it appeals to you, and then grab it. And that's exactly what is happening, because there's a lot of people that just kind of follow suit, that saw people picking up WNUF, and then they're like, oh shit, what happened? Did my camera just switch?
Yeah.
Cool, man. This is great. Look at this.
You might want, just tilt the phone and you should be good.
Dumb. All right. But yeah, it's just like sitting still, I guess. I'm always having issues. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of what Chris has been able to do with this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of us as a company pushing this title multiple times. This was the third time. And it was just like, there comes a point where they look at I think their process is they look at the title, they look at like IMDb, they look at ratings on that, they kind of gauge, they do a Google search. And if it's something that populates multiple links, then that's a big movie to them because they may not know the films. And I think we just said, look, this is a modern day cult classic. Like, this is one of our best sellers, and it continues, and it sells every single day.
Right.
Like, multiple copies. It's our best selling title of all time. Like, and we believe in this. And eventually they listened, and we, you know, Chris and the crew came up with a really good packaging. You know, I think I suggested the double feature, make it more Halloween oriented, and that will, you know, especially getting it on during October, you know, before October, during October.
Yep.
I just thought it was a no-brainer, and thankfully we were right, because the first week it did amazing, better than any title we've had into Walmart. And then typically your second week is lower, which I think it was a little lower, but it was only lower by like 100 copies or something, which was like not even a thing.
Right.
So that's really neat to see 2 weeks of just very, very strong, and also people like getting mad. I don't want people to be mad. I want people to find it. But it is kind of cool to see the want for this title. I just hope people don't purchase them all. And I did see a couple people purchasing them and selling them for like $30, $40 on Facebook or eBay, which was silly. But I am glad it's out there and more people are seeing it. And also people that re-bought it, you know, obviously, thank you. Because it does have a different catalog number than the other two. So
I guess you're just meant to be sideways on this one there, Brad.
God damn it. All right.
You know, you can,
new topic.
You can
I'll fondle my phone.
Hey, let's talk about the last
lock
few
it.
weeks, because we've been quite busy. Before we get into Beyond Fest and all that exciting stuff, let's get into some of the announcements. Best Worst Movie, the American Scream double feature. That was in the last 2 weeks, and we missed that.
Yeah, that happened. I was at Fantastic Fest when that happened. Yeah. You know, this was something that we really wanted. We were excited to do. It was always a double feature. And we were working on a few things. We're actually still working on a couple things. But the idea with this one was to make it more of like a Halloween mixtape.
Right.
and that's what we did, you know. So it has a bunch of extras from the old release. We're doing a couple new things, and then the big highlight on this thing is the Mark Borchardt and Mike Schenk commentary for Night of the Living Dead. I was happy to be able to include that because I think it's very, very, very funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like a mini sequel to American Movie. Like, it's just, and hearing them, and obviously Mike is gone. And so it's nice to kind of put that together. But yeah, you know, 3 bonus films. There's a new Shocktail Hour on that disc from Chris and Melissa. Yeah, it's just a really fun pack, and the idea behind it is to have a release. You won't be getting it this Halloween, but hopefully every year. God damn, it switched again. Every year you can take this. I don't know why it does this. Maybe I need to tilt it a little bit. Every year you're able to put this on, because another thing about documentaries that we talk about at TerraVision is that we love documentaries, but how many documentaries are rewatchable, you know, because that's the trick. And like, I think these two are very, one, they're very rewatchable. American Scream, especially for the holiday, best worst movie at any time. But you know, stuff like we've already done, like Love and Saucers, you know, Papatopoulos. These things are very, very rewatchable because they're funny. You
Yeah.
know, they almost like have a comedy narrative to them. And it just, like American Movie is one of the most rewatchable things on the planet, you know, because it becomes quotable. And that's kind of how Best Worst Movie and American Scream are. So we're really happy to include both of these together. And Earl knocked it out of the park with that artwork. And I'm just gonna, maybe it's just a time thing. Maybe I have to do this just to show people that I'm here. We're not freezing now. We're just
Oh, it's so good.
we're just deciding to flip the camera. I just can't win. I'm on my phone because my computer wouldn't connect to the camera. So
Right.
Surprise.
Well, after this one, we announced a pretty big one. Happy Hell Night, coming out 4K, 2-disc. We got a Blu-ray with it. This is a big deal. This is one that a lot of people have heard of. A lot of people not had a chance to see, and now here's going to be the definitive release of that one.
Yeah, and been waiting on it for probably a couple years since we announced it. I mean, the reason, the reason why on that is because, you know, whenever we hear something about a film with the alternate cut or anything, we don't just release the movie just to release it. And we heard from some people that worked on the film that there was another cut of this movie called Blood Rush. And we just want to investigate it. Even though there might have not been material, there could have been a tape. Eventually we got down to the bottom of it, and there was never an actual cut of the film. It just had a title, and they reshot a few sequences for the film because they felt it wasn't as gory as they wanted it to be, because the film actually does shy away from a lot of gore. It does have some gnarly kills and stuff, but they are kind of quick cuts. And plus, the color timing on this was very tricky because it's a very dark movie, and I think the last release people complained that it was too purple, which that's just the negative what it looked like. So actually, Michael Negrin, right? You got to look at the extras on that. Yeah, Michael Negrin, the son of the DP. The DP's gone, has passed away, but Michael's still around. And Michael was as of 8, shooting movies himself during when his dad was making this. So Michael was on set, and he worked closely with his dad on this movie. So Michael came in and kind of pseudo supervised, even though he wasn't there every day. He kind of knew what his dad wanted and did. So Michael came in and kind of gave us the thumbs up of what the movie actually probably should look like. And that's what we did. And I think this might be one of the best looking. Cool. There we go. Might be one of the best looking. I'm just going to take you on a virtual ride. People will just get sick and throw up watching the live stream. I think this is one of our best looking UHDs to date until people see Gator Bait.
Yeah.
So, which I got to see the full Gator Bait, not full, but I got to see most of it when I was in LA, and it doesn't look like it's from the 70s. It is like, I don't know. The cinematography is just so beautiful on it, and our negative was in pretty good condition. It was unrecognizable. Like our lab pulled it up, and I was watching it, and I was like, "What is this? This is Gator Bait." I was like, "This does not look like Gator Bait to me from what I know it for years watching it. Basically, just on VHS. It's never been on an actual." Official other format. It's had a bootleg DVD, but it's just a VHS. But it looks absolutely phenomenal. But Happy Hell Night ain't no slouch. So
cannot wait for either of those. We'll give general updates on some of those in just a minute, but let's talk about what was just put on the site this morning. Shoestring Slashers Part 2, one that has been in the works for some time. Loving the way that people are reacting to this. Tell us about this one, Bradley.
Obviously, the first one was kind of an unexpected win for us. We have quite a few low rent like movies from the 80s, 90s, stuff that's edited on tape. And some of these movies are hard to push to audiences. And because they're standalone discs, like they just don't kind of grasp onto these as other titles do. So it was actually, I think Chris LaMartina kind of came up with the name. And I was like, oh my God, that's so good. We have literally 15, 20 of these indie slasher films. So we kind of put the first one together in hopes that it would just even make a mark. And it sold out, I think it was 7 days, 6 or 7 days. It never even got to the full price. It sold out at the introductory price, which I don't think has happened before on anything. But what was cool about it, I was still nervous because I was like, oh shit, this is great, but are people gonna like the movies? Because these are pretty rough. I mean, they're really good and they're fun, but are people gonna vibe with it? And people loved Beware. That was the big hit out of the box, which I was happy that, because that's one of the shot on video titles in that set. Yep. Beware was a hit. People liked Basement Jack. People actually vibed with Phantom Brother, which was a big surprise because that movie is fucking Looney Tunes. So yeah, when that was a hit, we were like, oh shit, we have to do part 2, and try to get it out for 13 weeks. Because it was the Halloween season. We wanted to do something cool. So yeah, we had, I think we have 20 of these things that we were kind of what could fit, how soon can we get extras done? The restoration on the, whether it's a tape or a VHS, whatever we're working with. And so we had a kind of a group, I think, of 6 or 7, and these 3 in particular, I just felt were the right fit. We were interchanging a couple here and there. And I think Bloodspell was the one that we put last in there. Mainly because I really wanted to release Bloodspell, because it's the ultimate midnight movie, I think. But Blood Symbol, obviously, from Maurice Devereaux, who did End of the Line and Slashers. This is a movie he started shooting in 1984 on 8mm, or Super 8, and it took him like 7 years to complete. It's a really, really like fun movie with a lot of extras, with short films from Maurice, commentary, and then Night of the Dribbler. I wanted to also kind of mirror what we did with nice what we did with the first film, or the first set, with kind of Phantom Brother. We had kind of a horror comedy in with that.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's put a horror comedy in with this. The Night of the Dribbler we've had under license for some time. It was just like, what the fuck did we do with this basketball head killing movie that is absolutely insane and stupid? But there is a very charming quality behind it, very much like Phantom Brother, made by porn people, trying to make a slasher comedy. But anyways, obviously now the Dribbler was a Code Red title that was a lost movie for a long time. It was made in 1990 and not released until like 2007 or something like that. And like I said, Bloodspell. Wow, that was quick. I didn't even get like my 15 minutes or how long. This is so stupid. Like, how can I? Is there like a feature on an iPhone that I can like?
You can lock it.
Yes, it's a lock. I said that like 10 minutes ago. Just lock your phone.
He did. He definitely did.
Okay. You know what, dude? It's like, you don't know my life.
I have no idea what that means.
I'm just gonna do that.
That works.
It's fine.
You look,
And yeah,
you look good
Bloodspell
like
we
this.
already talked about. What? Was it a smart ass comment?
I said you look good like that.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
It's like the nicest
You're
thing I've
putting on
actually
like big
said.
screen? Don't do that. Jesus Christ. Show my man boobs.
Can you do that again, please?
I actually don't have man boobs. I've been hitting the gym quite a bit, so I'm getting in better shape. But anyways, enough about my body. But Bloodspell, directed by Darren Warren. She made a few films for Vista Entertainment, which this is our first Vista Entertainment title, by the way. We have a few more from this company. They did a lot of weird movies for video stores. And we're excited about that kind of partnership relationship that we're working with those titles. And Bloodspell, it is so goddamn funny and good. I love it so much. And I am being true. It's like the perfect midnight movie. The decision making in that movie is insane. The acting is absolutely absurd. The logic behind it is so silly. I so much. I think Joe Lynch showed it at some event, and he said people lost their minds. and yeah, it's like you feel like you're watching a movie from another world sometimes. It's like, is anybody real in this movie? Does anybody have any sense? Is anybody a human being? But yeah, Bloodspell's rad as shit.
All right, and then on the site today, we also posted something. I assume this is a little more Ryan's thing because it's great. But Fire in the Sky vinyl.
Yeah, weirdly, the first ever vinyl release of that, which makes
Makes
very
no
little
sense.
sense to me. But yeah,
It's
Yeah,
such a
that's,
great one too.
I think that's the first. I think that's the first thing we've pressed in house on TerraVision proper, if I'm not mistaken. So
That
is that
sounds
right? Yeah, because Conjuring was on Haxon and Jimmy and Stiggs was on Horror Section. So yeah, that's the first Graveface Press TerraVision title. So yeah, there's the two variants pictured there. A black variant in case you crave audiophile sound, which is what it is. And then we also did there's something called it's a great hand pour company out of Cleveland called Wax Mage. They do just really impressive hand pours. We're going to start doing we don't have the extruders that they have, so it's going to be kind of like very different looking from what they do, but same basic premise. So I think we sold out of those already, but there will be like 30 to 40 super time consuming hand pour copies for every Terrorvision release. And so I think those are sold out. Maybe not. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 left on the website, but yeah, it's cool.
Nice. What else from the last few weeks? I know we had a couple more vinyl announcements too, right?
We did the 3 Richard Band cassettes last
that's right.
week or 2 weeks ago. And then on the Graveface Museum imprint, which is new, which is not even on the Terrorvision site. It's only on gravefacemuseum.com. But we did Richard Band's Kemper score with art by my wife, Chloe. What else? Yeah, I don't know. Feels like a very busy era, but I'm trying to get better at like, I don't know, divvying up what goes where.
Yeah.
So that Terrorvision people aren't just bombarded with too much stuff.
Well, then let's hop over to Beyond Fest then. Brad, why don't you talk about Beyond Fest?
Yeah. Well, one, we were at Fantastic Fest and we screened Hide and Go Shriek, which I was very surprised that our first showing was the first night, like at 11, and I think it was like 28, 38 people showed up, which I was very surprised by because opening night at midnight, there's parties going on. I was surprised there was 5 people in the theater because rep screenings usually don't do like that well unless there's like a big name attached to it as far as like an actor doing a Q&A, whatever. And it went over like half and half. Half people thought it was very offensive. Half people really enjoyed it. And then it came for a second screening, which typically does worse because a lot of people leave for the festival. But I think we sold out that night. And now selling out, I think it was like a 48 seat theater, and we sold out that section. And I always ask, like, are you here because you got locked out of everything else and this was the only choice? Or are you here because you have an affinity for shitty slasher movies? And when I asked that, 90% probably clapped and cheered that they were there for Hide and Go Shriek, so that was pretty cool. That screening went off a lot better than the one before. I didn't sit through the whole movie because I'll probably never watch Hide and Go Shriek ever again in my life, along with most of the movies we release. But Beyond Fest, it was, I try to convey the message of how like historical, something like this is, being, the first black slasher movie ever made, being seen by probably the biggest group of people ever. Because Vaughn mentioned that, it screened in 83, but like he went to one of the screenings and there was like 2 people in the theater, and it only played for like, I think 2 days. And he said no one really went, and he's kind of forgotten about the movie because he was, embarrassed by it. So yeah, having an audience sit and watch this very weird, obscure movie for the first time was very cool. And also, you just don't know how sometimes these movies will do. You don't know how they're going to be received, because in your head you have all the moments that you like or you find funny or you hope people will laugh at, or have a good time or be scared, whatever the movie is. With Silent Death, you just hope that people vibe with it because it's such a weird movie, because it's very disjointed. Vaughn didn't know what he was doing. I mean, there's sequences that are out of focus. There's bad cuts. There's so many kind of odd things, but it brings a lot of charm to the movie. And yes, it's a slasher film, but it's also there's like a buddy comedy to it, and you kind of really like even though the movie's goofy and the script, like when they run the dialogue, it's so dialogue heavy at times, but you can't help but kind of laugh at what they're saying. And the overall arcing story is just very, very, very funny, and not something you would expect. But it becomes kind of like this just buddy comedy duo. But just fun, just very, very fun. And I was very happy with how well it was received. This was kind of like a test screening too, because when we signed the movie, we found the material for Silent Death because I don't think we talked. Did we talk at all about Silent Death at
Nope.
all? I'll probably tell a story later about how this all came about, but I mean, this is like a 25 years in the making for me, this movie, getting it out there. So about 10 years ago, I started really doing like the legwork, trying to find the elements to this movie and working with Vaughn and
It's a good story. I think we should we should record this for posterity again. Thanks, Brad. And he's gone. Hey, since you can talk about updates until he can tell the story again, Sledgehammer, Arbor Day, and Suddenly in the Dark, and all that other stuff, everything is in the process of shipping now. Correct?
Yeah. Also, that story, let's save it for when we put out the physical media release.
Yeah.
It's a long story, and it's a good one. Yeah, everything's actually done on those 3 titles, except there's 32 copies of the anyone that got 32 people that got the little sledgehammer and the shirt. Brad has absconded with those hammers, so we were trying to get him to ship this week, and he did yesterday. So don't be mad at me or my shipping department. I don't know why he ended. I think he's friends with the dude that 3D printed him, and so I don't know. I don't know how Brad ended up with him, but he's got him, or he doesn't now because he shipped him.
And we can't even ask him because he's gone.
He's gone. But point is, we're done. Arbor Day's done. Invader's been done. Sledgehammer, I want to say we ended up. I can't remember numbers, but it was like 2,500 or maybe 3,000. So those are all out the door. All the Orbits, the Diabolics, any distro, anyone that you would have ordered any of those 3 titles from is out the door. So
yeah.
So that's all good.
I know I've seen that question, I think about 8 times today. Are they on the way to retailers as well? And it sounds like the answer is yes.
Yep. Yeah, everything. There is nothing of those 3 titles in our warehouse save for those 32 copies that we're waiting on the little fucking sledgehammers. So
on that note, welcome back, Brad. We're foregoing the story behind Silent Death, and in the meantime, Student Bodies. What can you tell us about that? Because I'm even getting DMs asking when it's going to be shipping.
Is that a question towards me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I did. So basically, what we have done recently at our lab is that we're changing our kind of encoding system. There's some new, there's better software out there now. So our team at Gotham has improved their encoding software. So it's the best out there. Student Bodies is currently encoding. And as long as it passes QC, we should have a good answer of when that is done. I believe all the material for it is in-house, right, Ryan? We're just kind of waiting on the discs.
I got word that the books and the boxes and the poster came on Wednesday. So yeah, that and Hide and Go Shriek, we have all of the packaging done. So that's good.
Yeah, so all the extras, they're all, edited and done, and everything, basically everything is turned in for Happy Hell Night, Hide and Go Shriek, and Student Bodies. And then also the encoding is done with the new Suddenly in the Dark disc. So all of those are being simultaneously done at the same time. So we hope, as long as there's no issues, but the picture and all the other stuff has been QC'd, it looks good. Basically, it gets encoded. We view the disc, make sure it plays. Everything's good on that end. It gets shipped off, and then we get discs in house, because we are actually watching the real discs, just because typically we do check them for functionality, but we are going to watch them from beginning to end, which is not a normal thing that's done in this business, because it could take hours and hours. But we don't want another situation. So, but yeah, we're looking really good on those titles. Don't really foresee any issues. I have told our team there and stressed to them I want to at least get something out, at least start shipping in October for these titles. So please work overtime. They do work from 9 to 5 and then from like 11 to 7 a.m. So they do work quite a bit on restorations and everything. So fingers crossed. It looks good, but we've also had bad luck happen, and things do pop up and problems do arise frequently in this field. But everything looks 100% right now. So we should have another update, I would say, probably within like a week or even
Well,
two.
and it's worth noting that Death by Dialogue and the mystery title are done and on their way to us. So those, at the very least, will be shipped certainly before the end of the month, because we should have them in a week or 7 to 10 days or something. So best case scenario, we have like 3 to 5 things shipping this month, 3 to 5 more things on top of, Arbor Day Invader and Sledge. So it's actually weirdly looking okay for now until we get more bad news.
Yeah, just counting down the moments.
Well, there is bad news on the Death by Dialogue disc. It does say "Fire It You" on on the back instead of "Fire It Up." So points off for us for that. But the disc does look good. I've QC'd it. The actual real disc. I love the interviews on that release, especially "Fire It You," which I'm really excited to get criticized over. Shit happens, man. Shit happens. I'd rather have that than a fucking faulty disc, though. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, like I said, everything's looking very positive for us for those titles, and then basically we'll work on the next wave, kind of the same thing, and fingers crossed on that too. Nothing really to report just yet, because we've been working really, because we're also, again, Gator Bait and Suddenly in the Dark have also been being worked on this whole time too. So
Well, plus, 13 weeks of announcements is a lot of shit to be going on at once. Not to mention, we're already looking at stuff past that too.
Yeah, we had festivals, and we, preparing. We're still shooting extras. I mean, we're still working on stuff that's going to come out from 2 years from now. So it's like there's always there's always a million things going on. But
Brad got
really,
COVID. Ryan lost the transmission out of his car.
Yeah, but a big shout out to Jamie and everybody at Gotham, because they really do work around the clock for us. And I got to meet Jamie in person, so I'm very happy with our team there. They do excellent work. Couldn't have a better team, honestly. And they're going to be doing, and I'm very excited about this new system that they're talking about for encoding.
Nice.
It's top of the line. So I know that's a big deal in this community. So lucky to have the latest software, which is always important.
Well, I asked for a Q&A for people. Ryan, you want to answer? Speaking of, how does the combined orders work if I order something and one of the titles is delayed?
It's all a nightmare. Just use the code combine. We'll figure it out later. You might have to pay $5 if you want something soon, but it's honestly a mess at this point. So there's too many things that are like old, you know. So it's the ideal versus reality is things haven't gone as planned. But I would just use code combine, and then when you want something shipped, spend the $5, and we're good.
I mean, I think the best way to answer that is that, you know, obviously use combine to save, but if there's something where we have a gator bait situation where it's not going to come out until like January, like Q1, but all your other stuff is in stock, we can separate that, and then you can pay for a different, you know, just split it up, do that one shipping batch, and then save that other title, so that way you're not waiting, you know, months for all your stuff in house that's already ready to be shipped. And that goes for everybody. Like, you know, we're cool with splitting that order. We want people to combine to save money, but we also don't want you to wait, you know, 6 months because you just keep adding things on. So just make it 2 different batches. Yeah.
We had a question on the grandfathered subs. When do you have to renew your subscription to keep the old tiers?
Just before it expires.
Yeah, I mean, it's partially your responsibility to keep note of when your sub is up. You know, just count everything that we release. Elena will email you asking if you want to renew, because there is that renewal. Like, there's a dollar amount off. I forget what it is when you renew. So if we don't hear from you and we don't hear back from you from Elena's emails, then that time will go out the window. I mean, it's not like we're going to send an email and we're going to give you 6 hours. Like, we're not going to be stingy or weird about it. You'll get some time. Like, even if it's a couple days and you're like, oh shit, I forgot, and that's fine. Like, we're talking about people that like let it go for months, you know, weeks and weeks even. Like, we don't hear from you. We announce a title. We don't know what to, like, you're not a clubber anymore. So why would we grandfather you in for an old tier now? You know, it's just like, just play your cards right. We're not gonna be weird about it. Like, we're not weird about that sort of thing anyway. We're pretty.
I think some people online are not understanding that you're going to prompt them, and at that point, you're literally going to make a choice. Do I want to keep the old prices, or do I want to let it expire?
Yeah. I mean, it's right. But we will contact. Like, Elena does send out emails. But it's also your responsibility to keep up with it. We're not here to babysit. We got too many things going on. So yeah, just write shit down. Put it in your little notes on your phone. That's what everybody else does. So
next one from Jake over at Steelbook Obsessed. Are there any new Paramount Scares collaborations on the way from TerraVision?
Well, yeah, I don't know when.
There's some stuff for sure. When it happens, it happens. But we do have some other stuff in the works for sure.
Woof.
Any other questions? I think that's pretty much everything on the Q&A. Ryan, Brad, any other updates you want to throw out there?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think we kind of covered everything.
We're getting some questions from Facebook as well, but just a heads up, we don't generally reveal upcoming titles, so those kind of questions we're going to filter through.
Yeah, I mean, tell people to buy more Children of Violent Rome, and we will do more old Italian movies.
Yeah,
stuff has to do well in order to continue doing a genre. You know, Children of Violent Rome wasn't a cheap thing to do, so if it underperforms, it's kind of hard to throw, you know, another $40,000 into something when it only sells like, you know, 400 copies. So
yeah, get people excited about it. It's a wonderful release.
Yeah, another historic release because it's like that movie's never been released in the U.S. But I get it. Like that's one of the reasons why it's probably not going to do well because it's not known. But it's kind of like our MO.
I see a lot of people raving about that about Terrorvision lately, though.
Yeah. No, we're happy to continue to do it. But obviously we have to do some bigger stuff. I mean, we like this bigger stuff, but that's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
You can't live off of Children of Violent Rome money. We'll go bankrupt.
All right. Jake wants to know how the new warehouse space is for us.
We don't have a new warehouse. That's the biggest fucking problem in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of split up.
Yeah, we're still dealing with the fallout from the hurricane of last year and losing that building and everything. So
yeah,
it's been an absolute nightmare. And part of our shipping woes are actually that, because oftentimes they just can't find shit because it's spread out over 7 different buildings. It's a fucking nightmare. So I put an offer on a space back in February, and it's just been hell trying to get it. Yeah, we'll see if we end up with it. I hope we do, because it would be a perfect warehouse for us. But it's been how many months? 8 months now or something, and still nothing. So unfortunately, we don't even have a warehouse. We're working out of storage spaces.
Yeah, and real estate sucks in Savannah. So
yeah. Even though we all thought Ryan managed most of it as the mayor, but I guess not.
Yeah, you think the mayor would have more pull, but apparently not.
Yeah, it turns out not having money is the problem.
That'll do it.
Thank you.
So on that note,
Violent Rome. If you buy all the Children of
Violent
Violent Rome releases, we possibly could buy a warehouse.
On that note, I guess the other thing to talk about is you'll see some discounts on the website today.
True.
Yeah, there's a kind of a small sale, if you will, of stuff. Yeah, just some stuff. I mean, copies that we need to move and just stuff that kind of sits around. Also, it's not that it's bad. It's just it will hopefully intrigue more people to watch the movies because all this stuff is rad. It's just sometimes people, if you don't know the movie or haven't heard of it, it's hard to pull the trigger. So yeah, a few things on sale. Hope you enjoy them. Buy Family Dinner. It always upset me how poorly Family Dinner has done financially. But it's like a low rent A24 movie if you like that type of shit. Yep. It's pretty good.
All right. That it, Ryan? We good?
Thank you, everyone.
Good. Thank you all for the support. We will see you in the next few weeks. Any tease for next Friday's announcement?
Nope.
We probably don't even know what it is. We don't know what it is.
No, don't listen to Ryan. I know what it is. I'm very excited about the next release that we're doing. It is probably the most stacked release that we've ever done.
Now I know what it is.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how much stuff is on this disc. I think there's more hours with extras than the actual movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
It's a lot of work. So much restoration with all the extras. It's monumental. I'm very excited about this next release.
Nice. So. All right. Well, then on that note, thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
We don't even know what it is.
Hey, that happened.